With Irish Joe. It's a poison. That doesn't help the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. You donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. That's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. Good morning as we begin our journey through the offseason. And I already see from the chat, it's just going to be a lot of questions and no answers about what the true accurate level of this program is for the next 3 months. It's going to mess with you. It's already messing with me. You're going to go through these waves in the summer where you're going to feel high about this team. You're going to have moments of doubt and question. You're going to look at all the hype that's been going on around this team and wondering what the reality is. I already see some healthy discussion about the quarterback. I think we'll get to it, but I have some quarterback thoughts that are creeping in. So just be ready for the journey. Mentally and emotionally, we're all going to go on for the next 3 months. It will play games with your mind. You're just going to ride these waves of optimism, of doubt, of question, but mostly just anticipation, man. This is going to be a really good football team. And I don't know if it's going to be title level, but it's going to be a really damn good football team. And so this is just, it's going to be a rough ride. And it always is in the summer for diehards. But I think it's going to hit season because of the expectations. This is new. This is new. And really, if you think about it, the overall question of all this is, how does Marcus Freeman and his team handle being a favorite and not a chaser? This is all being set up very, very differently. How are they going to handle that? And I got some videos coming out to kind of push you guys in your mind. I got something tomorrow for YouTube. I got something else coming on the Patreon, pushing us to really challenge ourselves about where this is all at. So it's going to be a rough, long summer, but we're going to get through it together. We're going to get through it together. Adam Dowling, enjoy your summer always, Irish. Worry about it in August. It just isn't going to work for me, man. It isn't. My mind's a scary Irish place. It just isn't going to work that way. I'm going to worry, and I'm going to think, and I'm going to overanalyze it. The high end, the low end, everything. Where are the true levels of this program at? I don't know. And nobody knows. Even the people nationally and locally that are saying it's great and like title level, but they don't know. Nobody knows. So that's what we're looking at. And so this is going to be a rough run this summer, but we're going to get through it together. We're going to entertain ourselves, and we're going to be open in our minds. That's the challenge for the chat and for this group. In this 3-month window till August, be open-minded to consider it all with an open mind. On the high end, on the low end, somewhere in the middle ground. That's the deal. Imagine being 0-1 and at John's tailgate. Well, a lot of people got to experience it at 0-2 last year, and it was very awkward and uncomfortable. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I see a few people waiting to jump in here. We're going to go to you guys. I want to go over, now that spring's done, the theme today is I'm going to go over some general kind of themes that have come up about where this team is at post spring. And I want to go over them and what I think about them. But we're going to get a few of you guys on earlier that are waiting and see what you think. We were 0-2 when I had the tailgate last year, and we had a great time. We had a really good turnout. The energy was fine, but it was lacking. And I felt like I was doing something wrong or whatever, because there wasn't that extra little spark and energy. You could feel the weight of 0-2 hanging like a cloud over all those tailgating lots. And everybody wondering what the hell's going on and what direction is this going, and like what are we doing here? And it wasn't my fault. And it wasn't your fault that was at the tailgate. It was you were 0-2 and you rolled into town and there was like a dark cloud sitting over the dome, it felt like. So the vibe wasn't right. And it wasn't like total negativity, but it was more like, what is going on? It was very uncomfortable. I'm hoping to avoid that this year. And I hope we're still in a good mood for the Miami tailgate too, for the next two. And so I don't know, man. It was Sly saying it was rough. I mean, you could just feel it. I don't know how to describe it. It was very uncomfortable. It was very, very uncomfortable. So I don't know, man. It's tough. So I don't know. This is going to be a unique offseason. And so, the most overrated player on the team, Bobo's asking. Good question. Yeah, I knew Greathouse was going to come up. I knew that was going to come up. Gilbert's going to be another one that's going to come up. Somebody said Traore. Those two receivers are on my watch list. If I can't rely on you with injury and you're expected to be penciled in a key role, that makes me nervous. So I got Gilbert and Greathouse both on the list till I see otherwise. Somebody put CJ Carr, which I knew somebody would put. Yeah. J Carr says CJ Carr, just to get that out there and get that narrative going. Good job stirring up the crowd first thing in the morning. Tex ND, even the first half of Purdue was uncomfortable. Yeah, even after the tailgate, it didn't get any easier. And here's the other thing, you guys. Tell me if you experienced this. I'm sitting there. Tex says Cam Williams. Here's the deal, though. You're saying overrated. I'm not sure he's that highly rated. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you could say Cam Williams, but like for him to be overrated, that means people have to be rating him as like a key contributor. I'm not seeing a lot of that. So I might push back on that one. Here's the other. This is really funny, man. We wanted good weather for blue and gold. That was a big deal to me. He was a 5-star. That's fair, Tex. That's a few years ago now, man. We're getting down the road here. Isn't this year? I mean, anyways, we all wanted good weather for blue and gold. That was like the big deal, right? I didn't know it was going to be good enough that my forehead is peeling. So I got to give the South Bend gods credit on that one. I wanted good weather, but I'm telling you, my forehead's peeling, bro. Man, my 5 head is struggling here. I'm serious. It's unbelievable. So thanks for the good weather we got, man. Thanks for the good weather. Where is this? There's a comment I want to get, but something's on my screen in my way of scrolling. I don't appreciate this. There we go. Tom, I'm just glad Tom's upright and out of the hospital, man. Out of the hospital. The always Irish Kennedy psyche of worrying and waiting for the other shoe to fall is very Irish. The great Irish writer W.B. Yeats has a quote to describe it. I'm a worrier by nature. That's why I can never gain weight and keep it on, because I melt it right off. John's got a golden dome. My bald spot was burning in the shower after the tailgate. That's how I know we had some good weather, damn it. Some people have asked why I don't wear a hat for that purpose. Some of it, you guys, is honestly, I want people to know me right away when they walk up. Like if it's their first time coming to the tailgate and trying to figure out who's who. And without a hat, it's a lot easier to see my stupid face and with my chain and everything. So some of it is just I want to be easily visible for people walking up trying to say hi or whatever. But I'm glad I would gladly take that sunburn over the sleet and wind and rain that we've had some of these years. So thanks for being here, you guys. There's a bunch of you guys that want to hop in. So I'm going to give it to you guys about your spring narratives now that this is all over and we're in the dark zone. I want to know what your key takeaways from spring are. So we're going to go to your video calls right away. Thank you guys for being here. Again, thanks for the turnout at the tailgate, all the kind words. We have a wonderful, wonderful group. Keeps growing and it's fantastic. It's a real blessing. Thank you for letting me do this. So hit subscribe if you haven't yet, all that stuff, notifications on, thumbs up, Twitter, search bar Always Irish, Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. People sending me nice pictures and stuff from the event. Appreciate that. Notre Dame on SI, read all about it. And I'm telling you, patreon.com/Always Irish. I love this group. You guys showed out at the tailgate. You're so loyal, so dedicated to the cause. It means the world to me. I really do appreciate it. You guys are fantastic. You guys are fantastic. So I'm going to get some of the early morning guys that want to jump on. Then we'll go to some of your comments. And then we'll see if some of your themes here overlap with the notes that I have. And we'll get out of here. $5 Aller Steven. It's good to see you again, my friend. Another day closer to beating Wisconsin. I certainly hope so. I'm telling you that. West Texas, I see you hopping on and off. I'll catch you when I see you on for a couple minutes solid there. Jared, good morning.
Good morning, John. How you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm not doing fantastic because I'm a little upset that there's no more football for 3 months. So I'm not going to say fantastic, but I'm doing as good as I can given we're entering the dark days this summer year. How about you?
Oh, dude, I feel the same. You know, it's that point where football kind of feels close, but it's still so far away that you know, it's miserable right now. But
yeah, we'll make it through. And do you agree with me that the level of expectations around this program is going to make the summer a little more stressful? We're always wound tight, but all the CJ Carr hype and hype around this team overall, it's going to be an extra anxious waiting period.
Well, I mean, we're Notre Dame. We should have these expectations.
It's true.
So, yeah.
It's true. That's a very, very fair point. Jared, I would like to know what your takeaways either from Blue and Gold were or what your main narratives are that are in front and center in your head as we enter the summer period here.
Well, it's kind of hard to have, you know, a solid takeaway because when you realize there's a lot of players out for spring ball, especially for Blue and Gold, that's kind of really hard to get a feel of it. Especially defense, we didn't get to see Leonard Moore. We know he's going to be great. We didn't get to see Drake Bowen. You know, I would like to see the team at full strength before I really have a takeaway. But
man, that's very mature, Jared. I got to give you credit for that. That's very mature of you because I feel like as the fans, you only really get to see Blue and Gold, and it isn't really that much of a scrimmage anymore, as much as it is like segmented practice periods, and it's hard not to make grand conclusions about what you see that will dominate the narrative going into this summer. I think the way you're approaching it is very mature to kind of zoom out and look at the full picture. I think you're smart for doing that. And I don't know if I'm emotionally capable of doing it, quite frankly, as well as you are. I don't know.
Yeah. Just kind of looking at the grand scheme of things, it's hard for me to get so high on the highs and get so low on the lows. I'm just kind of like, well, I really liked seeing the guys out there. I liked seeing some of the young players. I like our running back. I feel like our running back room's real deep. I felt like our running backs that we threw out there looked really good. CJ Carr looked a little bit off, but you know, I don't really read into that all that much, really. I feel like this is even without Leonard Moore, I still feel like this is the best secondary he's gonna face on our schedule. that he faced in the blue and gold game. So hey, I don't really look
Point.
into that stuff too much.
Jared, that's a really, really good point to consider, that the lens you're viewing Carr from and all these practice periods, you need to understand he is probably going up against the best secondary he'll face all year, and it's in our own town. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, they've been going. Our defense has been going against that offense all spring ball. You gotta know that they've probably seen those routes 100 times during spring ball. So you can feel like the secondary was kind of sitting on some of those routes because they're you can tell that they kind of knew some of that stuff was coming. So I'm not looking into that too much.
Jared, here's the other thing with Carr that's challenging people's minds. You're hearing overall Heisman favorite, whatever, like maybe number one pick. I don't know about that, but like that's the narrative out there on social media and national people, whatever. The last two big practice things, the Jersey scrimmage, I was told it was like the cleanest performance from a quarterback anybody's ever seen, and Matrix like, and wizardry was mentioned, like literally. And then a week later, it was a little choppy and rocky and blue and gold. And so those are your two reports. Looked a little rough when we saw it, but the week before, near perfect. And you're left wondering what the reality is, man, and how serious you should take each of those reports on the high end and low side.
Well, here's what I do know. I've seen CJ Carr play in actual football games.
Yeah.
And I know the dude's good. I know he's really good. So you can't overanalyze these things. And just seeing people that judge teams based off of the spring games, there is no team in college football that is fully healthy, has all their players available during spring. There is no teams that have their full playbook installed during the spring. I mean, you just can't judge teams based off of what you see in the spring game, which is just a glorified scrimmage.
You're right. It's barely even a glorified scrimmage anymore. I have to change my mind of what to expect to get out of blue and gold moving forward. This was a big realization of just how kind of watered down and specific practice segments they're doing. And I need to change what I want to gain out of the experience moving forward. And that's something I need to mature into. Do you believe that Notre Dame defense is going to be a top 5 unit overall? Or do you believe that?
I do believe that. I believe the secondary is gonna be just as good as advertised. And I don't know if you got this sense watching the blue and gold game, but I remember watching it going, wow, our defensive line has some bodies in it. Like it just looked different, especially on the defensive line. I mean, we're kind of used to these short, stocky guys up the middle. I'm just looking at it, man. Our defensive line looks like they got some bodies in there now, which is exciting.
It seems to me there should be a deeper rotation of guys that could all contribute and stay healthy and stay fresh. There's a deeper rotation. There's some bigger bodies. There's some more athletic bodies. I just think there's more depth across the board there. And with that secondary on the back end, if you could get more push up front in the run game and get after the quarterback on third and medium, third and long, how are you going to have great success? How are you going to succeed against Notre Dame's defense?
Exactly, and I mean, I think it's all going to rely on Chris Ash's shoulders. I feel like Chris Ash has got to be on top of his game still. But I feel with the overall talent that we've got, on the defensive side of the ball, I feel really good about it.
Yeah,
and
so do I. And you have year 2 of Ash. You hope you're not going to have some weird thing where he's got to learn the talent and who could do what. I feel like we're past that. So I don't expect that big slow start again that burnt us last year. I think this defense is ready to take off. Flip it over to the offensive side. What is your belief in the O-line and the new wide receiver situation? What's your belief in those two units? Because that's going to determine a lot of how this goes.
Yeah, the pieces that we brought in on the transfer portal for the wide receiver room, I'm really curious to see on how they contribute this year. I hope we hit big time on those transfer portal guys. And I know what we're going to get from Greathouse and Faison. We're going to get what we always get from them. I feel really good about those two, but and we haven't seen Quincy Porter yet.
Yep.
So I hope that we hit on our transfer portal guys. Some of the young guys look good too, look promising. But we'll see. I don't really know what to expect from the wide receiver room. I hope good things. I know they'll have a good quarterback that will get them the ball, get them good catchable balls on time. You know, I have no worries about CJ Carr. So at least with the unknowns of the wide receiver room, at least I can feel good about CJ Carr and the offensive line. For me personally, I expect the offensive line to take a big step forward. I do. I feel like there's just a lot of good talent in there on the offensive line. I feel like we've been recruiting that really well. I expect the offensive line to take a big step forward, and hopefully we can have, knock on wood, we stay healthy there. And I feel good about the offensive line. A little nervous about the receiver room just because I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns there, but
Yeah, it's there's a lot that needs to come together. But it just seems like there's more talent to work with overall. I
Mhm.
think that's a plus. And also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention it seems like we have a competent kicker. I'm very, very impressed with what we saw so far. And if you want to make a deep playoff run, field goals are going to be a big part of it. And so far, so good on that front. And that's a big deal. People laugh about it because it is kind of a joke how bad we were last year. That's the real deal. And I think he's good.
Oh, dude, you don't know how much of a relief it was to watch him kick. I actually, watching the blue and gold game, I actually very loudly celebrated when he
Yeah.
we started making field goals, man. That was a relief. Hopefully, that translates into the fall. It is weird. We've had it's like 2 seasons in a row now. It's kind of weird that we've had kicker injuries, which it's just kind of weird that that's happened twice in a row now. So, knock on wood. Hopefully, that's not
Yeah.
a problem this year. But he looked good.
Yeah. And then one more question for you. I really appreciate you joining. Very well rounded discussion to start us off here. What are your expectations of Marcus Freeman? He's entering year 5. He's no longer the new guy. He's kind of hitting his stride, more confident, more comfortable. What does the next level look like for Freeman this year specifically? I think it's a challenging question to answer because he's not a player. What are you looking for from Marcus?
The biggest improvement I'm looking to see from Marcus Freeman is he's got to win September. That's
Yep.
his next step. He's in his 4 seasons now at Notre Dame. He in 3 of them he started either 1-1 or 0-2 in September. So
Yep.
I think that's the next step in his progression is he's got to win early. I don't know what's going on there, and he's got to figure that out. And he's got to stop doing that
Yep,
because
I call it the September slip ups, man. You can't have any. And with this schedule, if you're 10-2, you're missing the playoff again.
yep.
That is not an option. It is with this schedule, it is not an option. So you need to run this thing, be undefeated for the tough trip to BYU, and be undefeated for Miami on November 7th. That's gotta be the roadmap, or this thing's gonna go sideways.
Absolutely, and especially, with a lot of the anti Notre Dame stuff that comes out now, that they're going to be looking for a reason to keep us out of the playoffs. Don't give them a reason. Don't
Yeah.
give them a reason.
Yep.
Control your destiny, handle your stuff, and we'll be in the playoffs. But if you give them a reason, don't be mad when we give them a reason and they use that reason to keep us
Yep.
out.
Yep.
I
Yep.
left.
You're
Yeah,
absolutely right. The schedule is a fine line this year. If you run it the way you're supposed to, it's a big advantage. But if you get off track, it's going to burn your ass. So you bet it's a fine line here with this lighter schedule, whether it helps you or hurts you. It depends on if you take advantage of it. So I'm right there with you. Jared, anything else on your mind as we begin this summer period? Really appreciate you starting us off.
Oh no, that'll be it for me. Thank you for letting me on. I'm really excited for this season. Go Irish.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Jared, whenever you would like, hop on, buddy. Good first call of the day. Thanks a lot, my friend.
Thank you.
Have a good one. That's a good first caller, man. Crying Belly, we look bad. Damn. Yeah, Crying Belly. I gave you your own standalone video. I thought it was very important to have somebody balancing out the narratives. I think that's very, very fair and a part of what we should all be analyzing all summer. That's why I highlighted his call the other day and put it up. You got to have some balance here, man. So I don't know. It's we were confident at this point too about the defense until Miami. I'm going to try and make you feel better about that. Wisconsin's not Miami. They don't have that roster. So like even if you're in that camp and you're like, hey, I was there too. All August, the media at practice was telling you No wonder the quarterbacks are struggling. There's no window to throw the passes to because they're covering everything. And then we got to Miami, nobody could cover nothing. So, but if you think that's going to happen again, you should feel a little better about it because Wisconsin is in Miami. And it's like, oh, John, now you're not respecting the opponent. I'm just being honest about the roster. It's not Miami. You have way more leeway to not play great and win that game anyways. If you're afraid of that happening, it better not happen. It better not happen. You got to be by all of this. You got to be past all of this. And you didn't have that roster either. That's fair. But also, I would argue a lot of you losing to Northern wasn't the defense. It was more, well, that was a pretty low scoring game. A lot of that had to do with the offensive struggles. You had the one goofy long pass that made it through and then they scored. But a lot of that was offensive. Leonard was banged up and they didn't want to run him, but you also couldn't throw it. Son of a buck. Unbelievable. The good news is Northern's getting further and further away. If you think about it, it wasn't even last year and it was at the beginning of the year, but that's getting further and further away. Thank God. West Texas, Dr. John, and low IQ Liam. West Texas, what's going on? What do I bring West Texas up and it drops right off? Dr. John, good morning, brother.
Good morning. Good morning from Bloomington, Minnesota, where we have a gorgeous day.
Doc, I'm telling you, you get around, brother. You get around, man. Your travels are amazing. You put a lot of miles on in a year.
Oh, my
You're
God.
all over.
You have created a character here that is not the character I am, but I love you. I love you. I just want to thank you and your mom and dad. And it was a great, fun weekend. I saw nothing of that spring game. I waltzed off to the lacrosse game.
Yeah.
And then when I got back to the car, get my phone, I couldn't get my ticket up. It took two guys at the ticket gate to get it up. Anyway, I just wanted to thank you. I've got a narrative based on, that was Jared that just called in.
Yep.
Yeah, he talked about highs and lows. Oh God, I'm taking you all back before you were born, but it's 77. We lose the second game of the season to Mississippi. I'm battling depression anyway. I'm in counseling, okay? So I go to the counselor after that game and I'm really bummed. And he tells me, he says, well, we could do something about that. I said, oh, he said, yeah. He said, your lows won't be as low, but your highs won't be as high. I said, my highs won't be as high. I don't want to do it then.
Yeah. You live for that. You live to chase that high, that buzz at the top. Yeah, that buzz, man.
You live for that one. You live for that one.
Yep.
Anyway,
Doc, can I address that for a second?
Of course.
I've always looked at it that way. Like, you can't truly embrace the buzz of the high unless you allow the pain of the lows to really get you. I've always believed that. Like if you're going to feel really, really high, you also have an obligation to let yourself feel the pain on the low to make the high feel the right way. And that's why I have these huge swings of being devastated and miserable. And then that electricity through your body when it's good and it's high and you're excited. That I live for that. That energy is what fuels me up and down and all around. Yeah. I love that ride, man.
Yeah, it's been fun and it's been torture. So
exactly.
Hey, I found out, assuming there are any left, I'm in the lottery on May 19th. I get to buy my ticket. I can buy 4 to Lambeau, which was good news.
Nice.
Of course, I can buy 12 to Rice if I want to.
Yeah.
And then only 2 for BYU, but
That's a road game. So our allotment
Yeah,
is a lot smaller. That's a
yeah,
tough one to get for BYU, but
yeah.
that would actually be good for you because it's easier travel if you're out west, right?
Well, I got a buddy who has committed to go. I've already got a hotel reserved. But if he bails on me, I told Renee he's got the tickets. So,
Oh, that'll
uh,
be great.
yeah.
Doc, I'm really glad I found your white doctor gown in the crawl space. I had it put away in a box with some other tailgate stuff. And that was the first time we met you in person was when you wore that thing. I'm so glad I brought it. And we had a new group of people sign Dr. John's gown. Like, what a beautiful experiment.
Oh God, it's so much fun for me, and I did bring it back with me. And that game, that original lab coat game, I had a buddy with me who ended up doing card tricks all over at the tailgate. But I had lunch with him on Monday, and I brought the coat so he could see where he signed it again. But anyway, us old people have to do a lot of those things just to enjoy life.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was just
anyway,
great. It was great avenue, man. We had all the main personalities were there. I was blown away by the turnout. We had a lot of people come through and it was active. I mean, we had a lot of energy. I had a great time.
it was the best. It was absolutely the best. Two things before I run. I've got a luncheon today with past presidents of the Notre Dame club. I'll be the oldest fossil there, I'm sure, but some guys I haven't seen in 30 years, so it's going to be fun. The other thing I wanted to say, Nick Dean's wife, Chris, gave me some poetry books.
Yep.
I have read about 24 of the poems. God, she is just fabulous. She is fabulous.
Doc, I have a unique bond with her. Her brain operates on a creative wavelength that's like at a weird clip in a good way. I love talking to her because her brain just moves differently than most people. And she always gives me a couple ideas or different way to think about what I'm doing here. She gave me one of her books the last time too. And like, she's a very unique soul. I really enjoy my time with her. Her brain is on a different wavelength, and I love picking it and hearing her ideas. She's very gifted.
She encapsulates moments in life so well, John. It's just a treat to read this stuff. It really is.
Yep, she is. And you know what? Nick's okay too, I guess. We'll keep him around.
Yeah. Well, he can come as long as he brings her.
Yeah, but she is a real joy to get to meet and a very unique person and a unique mind. I appreciate my time with her every time.
Okay, I got to get ready for this lunch. I'm probably heading back to Montana tomorrow. So I will be in chat on Friday with some big sky, whatever. So
fantastic. Doc,
I love you.
Thank you so much for making the effort to get there. Everybody wanted to see you. A whole batch of new people wanted to meet you. We're really, really glad you made it.
Well, I had dinner with Renee, Liam, and Liam's daughter at Rocco's.
Yeah,
she is a delight. She is a delight. But I was a little upset about one thing in the video where Liam made a big deal about driving 11 hours to the tailgate. I drove 22. So, of course, I broke it up. So it wasn't 22.
That's a long journey, Doc.
Hey,
I appreciate the effort.
I could do it blindfolded almost. I've made it so many times. But anyway, I love you. Have a great show. And I'll check in on Friday.
We'll talk to you, Doc. Have a good day,
bud.
my friend. Thanks again for everything.
Fox.
Man, I love that guy. I just do. He's my surrogate Irish grandpa. I love him, man. Not to age him. I'm just saying. It's a beautiful thing. We're going to go low IQ Liam and then Terrence. What's going on, low IQ?
John, it's Liam. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I know what you're doing, and it's entertaining already.
All right, John, I'm going to try and go to the video. I embarrassed myself last time because my internet was shot, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was, but you were just cutting out on me. It was very disappointing. Usually you have impeccable Wi-Fi, brother.
Things better today? How do I sound?
Fantastic. Loud and clear, baby.
Okay. I'm going to try and keep it somewhat short and sweet. Oh, Dr. John was right. I was bragging about driving the farthest, but obviously, like, the tougher older guys, they just have more grit than us young folk. So I didn't want him to get any credit. Also, there was some guy named Don. I'd like to give him a shout out. I think he drove from Louisiana. I don't know if you got to meet him, but he says he rarely calls in or messages, but I just wanted to give him a quick shout out because I figured that level of dedication deserves some praise.
You're talking about the guy that was there Friday night and Saturday, and he had the accent. You can't miss the Cajun accent.
I loved his accent, and I also loved Ryan Roll's accent. I kept pressing Ryan Roll's shoulder for subtitles or captions, but I couldn't find any.
Yeah, it was, but dude, the Louisiana guy,
Yes.
I never knew him before. And he showed up Friday night at the meetup, and then he was there Saturday, and he was talking about how he roots against LSU down there in Louisiana. And he drove all that way. Dude, it's just awesome. I just love meeting. It's cool when you have the core people and then you have the new people, and then they add to the core. You know what I mean? Like, we know each other, and then like, there's layers to this thing. It's a beautiful social experiment. I'm thrilled with how the weekend went. It really couldn't have gone any better, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I just want to thank you again, and hopefully it just keeps building and gets bigger and bigger every time.
So, Liam, thank you very, very much for the travel and for coming. And you know, your daughter was really nice with my daughter, and like, just, it was a really beautiful thing on a lot of levels for us adults, for the kids as well. But because your internet was wonky the other day, I don't think I really heard some of your big takeaways from Blue and Gold and from spring overall. Where do you think we're starting at here going into the summer months?
It's natural for a Notre Dame fan of our age to be pessimistic and negative, but I think we need to try and to shy away from that and to try and stick our chests out and to act like we've been there before, because we have, just not very recently. I think we have a lot of reason to be confident for this season. Yeah. And even teams with great coaches, I think Signetti came out and said that Indiana looked terrible early on. So I think that we should be confident. It was difficult for me to follow the format of the game.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to be good. I think we're trying to figure out what receiver is going to show out. Now, I will say that I do agree with some of Andrew Gilmore's earlier takes about boundary receivers. Someone's going to have to step up and make plays.
Yeah, it's totally fair. Andrew's been pounding that all spring. He was talking about it with me at the tailgate, and I think that's totally fair. You need somebody to step up. And again, we don't even, here's the thing I'm holding out for, and it may be irresponsible, is how big of a role does Quincy Porter play when he's healthy and back? Because that's a guy that we haven't really seen in the mix that could have a lot to say about what goes on in this starting rotation.
One point that I was trying to I guess, force other people to accept, which isn't very nice to me, was that I think over the past 20 or 30 years, Notre Dame has a pretty rich history of receivers who have done relatively nothing to all of a sudden getting 900 and 1,000-yard seasons. And it happens almost every 2 to 3 years, from Stovall to Samardzija, Equanimeous to Austin to Boykin. So there's a history of guys making plays who had been on the team but hadn't done too much. We just have to figure out who is that going to be for us. And the other thing that's difficult is it's probably really hard to assert yourself as a boundary receiver, particularly during the jersey scrimmage when you're being blanketed by the best cornerback in the country. No one would look good in that scenario.
Really good point.
It's kind of like having a 10-year-old fight Mike Tyson. You say, oh, the 10-year-old's being a wuss. Well,
yeah.
No one's going to look too good in that situation.
Yeah. I just think here's where I've landed on this. I think some of the really, really high-end stuff is a little premature to me about all of this over. I just need to see it a little bit. I'm getting a little anxious with so much praise being heaped on Notre Dame, what they're going to be. But I am also not overreacting to anything we saw in blue and gold or whatever that wasn't ideal and letting it weigh me down all summer. I'm also not doing that. Like, oh, the passing game looked choppy to start out with. That's not going to be top of mind for me the next 3 months till we resume camp. So I'm trying to be somewhere in the middle. I'm very optimistic, but I'm not like sold for sure this is going to be a team that's playing in the championship game. But I am also not letting anything that didn't go great weigh me down. I'm trying to be very balanced.
Renee texted me the other day and he said, you have to take it one day at a time. And I think that's the most fair approach to this. You don't have to be national championship Notre Dame when you face Wisconsin. All you have to do is win by a point, right? And to be honest, many national championship teams have some of those scary games where they were favored by 14 and they end up winning by 7 or 3. So you're not going to be, it's not every game is going to be that Syracuse up 21-0 before the offense hits the field.
Yeah.
But I think that if you take it in a one game approach, even when you look at the playoffs, that's the best way to do it. You want your guys peaking when you're in game 13, 14, 15, 16. No one needs to peak in Lambeau Field. You just simply need to win that game and then get home for ice.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very, very good point. And you know, the other thing that's been on my mind now that we're in this low action period, I think it is important to call timeout, zoom out, and look at this program overall and all of the modernization and advancements it's made in the last handful of years regarding the overall talent, the recruitment process, NIL advancements, changes in the way we do the portal and getting some guys in, like the overall talent level and depth. This program has taken major strides in the last few years. And I want to acknowledge that because we were behind in a lot of areas for a long time. Now Notre Dame's a modern program and it's time to get serious.
Yeah, it seems like, well, I have to really rely on some of the longer term Notre Dame fans than myself, but it seems like in the past, Lou encountered certain struggles regarding the support of administration and maybe it's the support of the college in general. And it seems like somehow Marcus Freeman has managed to navigate around through, or has maybe even just through his persuasive personality, gotten what he wanted more than some of the previous coaches and coaching regimes.
Yeah.
And that's to his credit, but that's also to the credit of Notre Dame attempting to keep up with the Joneses, because if they don't keep up, they were going to get left behind.
Yep.
Weren't there stories? I think there were stories about Manti Te'o between his freshman and sophomore year losing 15 pounds or something like that in the season because they didn't have a training table and they didn't have a nutritionalist.
Yep.
That you can't have that. You can't have that.
We've come a long way in a lot of areas. That's for damn sure. So I am really proud of the university overall. And you know what else, Liam? I did have a few meetings in the Dome with different people in the legal office, the media office Friday afternoon. And it was a good opportunity to be able to talk to these people that are there in the building every single day, like not necessarily football, but in the Dome and in that circle, right? And I credited all of them. I made sure I told them, you guys are doing a good job threading the needle of modernizing this program while maintaining our values. I told every person I met, I'm so impressed with the way you guys are doing this, getting the program modern without sacrificing the values. Keep on doing what you're doing. And I wanted to make sure they all knew that and heard that from me. And the one thing I heard back from all of them is they love Marcus. They love Marcus. And every one of them said, it ain't an act. He is really that nice of a guy. And like everybody wants him to succeed. It's a very healthy dynamic going on in South Bend right now. And that gives me peace, comfort, and hope. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. And I think a lot of people in the chat, but also in Notre Dame world, are a little bit concerned with CJ Carr living up to the hype. I am as well. Do we have to have a Heisman winning quarterback to win a championship?
Nope.
Can you win each game by 1 point and still be the national champions?
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
It's
And
a really good point. And you know where my mind goes to? The better that defense is, the more leeway the offense has to find itself, have these new pieces slotting in, figure out every wide receiver rotation, who could do what, the new running backs, make sure the lines gelling, all of this stuff. I'm banking on that defense to really be the offense's best friend as they find their rhythm beginning the year. But you are right. Like, if you got all this talent and depth we're talking about, what does it have to be to get it over the hump?
although, John, I will say this: years ago, when I was in middle school, I was obsessed with being able to dunk a basketball, and I had a JV basketball coach pull me aside and he said, "Son, they're only going to get 1 or 2 dunks a game. Why don't you work on your left-handed layup?"
Yeah.
And I think that relates to CJ Carr. Maybe we could not work on our no-look passes, and maybe we could hit a slant.
You know what you should have told your coach? Chicks don't care about left-handed layups. They want to see me dunk it, baby.
I thought I was going to be on the And One mixtape tour, John.
Liam, the professor.
Oh, baby.
Liam, why are you so tall, bro? I can never tell how tall you are on the video, and then I meet you in person. I'm looking up at you. Jeez.
I know. At one point, someone walked behind Renee and startled him, and he grabbed onto my nose hairs like it was a rope.
Yeah. Here's the closest I got to dunking. You saw how short I am, 5'8", 5'9", something like that.
Mm-hmm.
In my athletic prime of being in shape, like, I was able to run up and hang on the rim. I could never get the ball in. I couldn't get over it. The best I could do was do a really good jump and get my long fingers on the bottom of that rim and pull myself up. I couldn't do it now, but when I was in high school, that was the height for me. I thought I was cool.
Well, John, I'm looking for more layups, less attempts at dunks, because layups are what build success. We don't need the no-look passes. You know, I don't know how many no-look passes Joe Montana threw. I bet you it wasn't much.
Yeah.
Right?
I totally get what you mean there. And I really, really hope, man, I just really, really hope this team has the right mindset. Right. That's a big question, Liam. How are they going to handle being considered a favorite? This is kind of new. I wrote about that early this morning, about this is kind of new, that Notre Dame is considered a favorite for things. And how are they going to handle that? And it's just different.
I'll tell you what, what was really special about this weekend was the amount of NFL players, ex-Notre Dame players, and then families of current Notre Dame players that you could run into on campus just walking around, getting coffee, getting ice cream, walking out of the stadium, whatever. Plexico Burris was there. And every family member of a current Notre Dame player, they seem like very grounded, fantastic people. And if that translates into their parenting, I think these kids have a good head on their shoulders. And I think that bodes well for the future for this team.
Yeah. It's but Liam, I got to tell you, man, it was a joy to have you there. Guys like you and Catfish and ND9, like newer guys that are there in person. You guys fit right into the group. It's the most beautiful social experiment of all time. It's just like you knew everybody without knowing them, and now you know them. It's a weird thing, like how you know these names, you form these relationships, and then when you meet, it's like you pick up where you left off, like you've known each other 10 years.
John, at one point I was in a circle of 7 guys, and I was the only one that had a different name. I was like, wait, your name's this, your name's this, your name's this. And I was the only one that had the odd name out. So it was very confusing for me for a while, especially the Miller Lights didn't help. Yeah,
it was, man, what a great event. I've been talking to my parents and my brother, and they're thrilled with it. And my parents are just like, so many people are nice to them as well. And it's just like a beautiful thing, man. I never thought this would turn into this, and we're never slowing down now. That's the other thing. These things are going to keep growing, and we have a good reputation now for throwing a good party that everybody enjoys. We're never slowing down.
John, I'm going to let you go after this, but one of the funniest things was you and I are sitting next to each other at the game, and I'm like, what is going on? Who's playing well? And you're like, and we look at each other and we're like, we're both so overstimulated. We couldn't figure out anything. We're like, we're gonna have to
Yeah.
go watch this tomorrow.
Yeah, dude, I am not that good at being able to focus that well with a lot of external stimuli. Like, I needed to get home and rewatch it on TV alone a couple times to be able to really figure out some thoughts. And so but Liam, I'm so glad you're in the mix, man. Your family's great. Your daughter, wonderful. Treated my daughter great. Kind of looked after a little bit there, man. I really appreciate you.
Thanks so much, Johnny. I hope everyone has a great day. Onward, Notre Dame.
Onward, Notre Dame. Have a low IQ, Liam. It's always good. I love it. Yeah, Pat's saying I wasn't the best basketball player. I just wasn't big and I could shoot. State of Illinois free throw champion 2 years in a row, 7th and 8th grade year, by the way. 24 out of 25 made in the finals. All you got to do there is get a rhythm. There's no reason to ever miss free throw. 24 out of 25 to get those titles in 7th and 8th grade. But I never grew enough to be that great at basketball at high school level. Baseball was more my sport. Golf, if I'm in a rhythm, I could shoot. I could, back in the day, shoot even par was right about my best level, but inconsistent. Baseball was my favorite sport that I was best at. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why. Baseball was just a little easier. I did hit leadoff, and I could hit some home runs when I got it later into high school and gained a little bit of weight. But I was a leadoff guy. My job was to get on base, steal, cause problems, and I love that role. But yeah, I always batted leadoff in high school. Just get on base, John. Work the count, see what's going on. And then, yeah, but I loved baseball. That was my first love. It really was. Rumors are car struggles were from attending the photo shoot with Marcus. Is there any truth to it? Those guys were showing it off, baby. $2. Dear Kent, you have Ligma. Best regards. Yeah, I didn't know where Leah was going to go. When the story started out that he was surrounded in a room by 7 guys. I wasn't sure where that was going to go, but I'm glad we kept it about football. Catfish!
What's going on? John, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me? This is Catfish from Southeast Ohio. I just I wanted to call in and say a couple points, if I could. I was very disappointed in the spring game. I think Marcus has to reevaluate things. Him talking to the media during the game proves that he has a lot to go as being a coach. He wasn't focused. I think him getting paid is what he gets paid. He needs to focus more as a coach. Probably missed a lot. Anyways, I'm gonna go on it. I'm gonna go a little bit different. I was just messing around there. All right. So I got a couple things I wanted to go over. First of all, how's your day going?
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. We're trying to get back to normal life here after the chaos of the weekend and all that. Catfish, I got to tell you, bro, you fit right in with the group. And like, you bring a unique energy that fits right in with our vibe. And it was great to have you there, man. And hanging out with you, it was fantastic. So thank you.
I appreciate you, John. It meant a lot to meet everybody. And I tell you what, I'm excited. This group is different, and I will say you built something special, and I really believe that. And I think the more and more this goes along, is going to just continue to roll downhill. I really do. I think it's picking up momentum. You know, even when you have people that want to bring it down or whatever. I mean, everybody has an opinion, and some of those opinions are valid. I want to state that because I know I come off a little bit, anti-bad opinion. At the same time, it can't be all one way and all the other. And I think that you had a really good point on Raw the other night and on this show. It's good to have maybe outside the box opinion, but it can't just be everything bad. Like, you can say car look not good. I mean, that's a valid stance. Subpar. Yeah. But to take everything into consideration, you look at it and they're playing in the spring game. It is what it is. All you heard was he looked great in camp. Well, camps were where you get all the work in. That wasn't really, I mean, they were doing the baby crawl during the game and the players were watching it. So you tell me how focused that game was compared to like a practice. Marcus was talking to the media. They were trying to keep it close. This, that, and the other. I mean, you have to take points of it. Some of the players need to look better. I mean, I hope that maybe Gilbert attaches his arms when he's going out there to play receiver in the season, because everybody wants to say something about Carr. That ball that he threw to the end zone, if you watch it and you pause it right where the ball hits, it hits him right in the chest. And he didn't fight for the ball. And my thing is like the defensive back made a great play on it. But you're going to say he looked bad if he makes that touchdown. Are you saying he looks as bad? You know what I mean? Like, I guess my thing is like, it is what it is, man. It's one practice. You can have good, bad practices. You can have off or on days. The thing about it is that he's going into his second year as a starter. So everybody wants to talk like up. He's going to have some up and downs. He's going to have some. But to say that he's a baby because he complained about a sack call, watch every NFL game with the best of the best at quarterbacks, and they all bitch, whine, and complain every time they're on the field talking about late hits. So you're going to say that he's a baby because he was saying that he didn't get a sack or did? I mean, come on, man. You can't draw conclusions from that. And nothing he's done has ever nothing he's done has showed that he's not a good sport or not a winner. So I don't understand that whole entire take that crying jelly or crying belly. I think the take was the outside opinion was, yes, he did look pedestrian, but it's not that bad. You tried to make it sound like this dude can't hold a snap. His name's not Tyler Buckner. Like,
No,
you know what I mean?
Here's
Like,
what I think, Catfish. Here's what I think Crying Belly does. And I think Kent does this to an extent as well. There are some threads of legitimate things to bring up, but I think they go extra with it to make it a bigger thing than it is. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there are some shreds of truth of things to concern about, or maybe a worry of where 100%. Notre Dame isn't going to be as good. But the way they present them is in a way on purpose to oversell that to prove the point. But I still think there's some valid things there, but it's all 100%. About balance and perspective and kind of being. And so that's what I think they do. And I think Crying Belly does a good job of presenting some of that, of taking a little concern and magnifying it to prove the point. And I think he's good at it. I don't leave that spring game feeling any better or worse about the team than I entered it. I don't, because it was so limited in what they were trying to show and do. I don't feel higher or lower about it. I don't, because it was just such a tiny glimpse of all they've been working on.
Oh my gosh, you're exactly right. And we blinked and the game was over. Yeah. Like it was like so. And Marcus was even on the sidelines talking to the thing. He was like, I can control what the score is. Don't worry about that. So therefore it wasn't like a real, first of all, it's open to the public before the season. You think they're putting anything but vanilla, like base plays in, base defense? They might send some extra pressure here and there. They might throw deep here and there, but they're not going to show their hand. They're not. And I guarantee he said, lay back a little bit. They played thud half the time. You can't draw huge conclusions based on that showcase or that practice. Yeah. Now, if you were a fly on the wall in the building and they were doing this day in and day out and they were struggling, I could understand your concern. Right. Yeah. Or if they look great, you can understand somebody saying they're going to win it all. But you can't base your opinion off of that game. You can't.
Yeah. You know what here's what I will say though. I have had people reach out to me that are a little frustrated with some of the negativity or whatever. But here's my thought on it. I think it's a good sign. So many people care so much. They're analyzing every little thing, even in a practice. Like, it says a lot just that people care that much, that over a spring game little practice session, everybody's worried about stuff so much. It's just, I think it's all healthy 100%. And it's all a part of the balance here. But that's why I did a video just highlighting Crying's call the other day, because I wanted to balance things out. So many people are so high. I think it's important to balance it out. things could go wrong this year. Notre Dame's got to
That's
perform.
fair.
Like, there's nothing wrong with saying it. But I don't take what we saw on Saturday one way or the other to move my needle. I don't. I think
100%.
it's up before. Really good team,
Now-
but a lot to prove.
Well, I mean, think about this. If Quincy Porter comes back on the field and solidifies that receiver position, that's going to open up completely a lot of different things. Let's say Gilbert starts playing a little bit better. Maybe he was told not to fight for the not fight for the ball, but maybe he was just they were told to tone it back a little bit so that nobody gets injured. My thing is like the team's going to look completely different. I think game one after fall camp, when we get through the summer, and I think Cryan made the point, or WPP made the point. I think, imagine that. It was a good point. Is Carr going to throw with the receivers in the offseason? But the way you phrased it, or the way you termed it, was like he wasn't going to. And my thing is, how do you even know this? Because he did in the past. I remember when Riley got everybody together and they showed pictures of all the quarterbacks throwing with the receivers and all. Who's to say he's not going to do that? So to think, based on what you saw, that's where he's at, like he's not. I'm not taking none of that. And I just think we need to temper it back a little bit. We need to be excited. But this team is going to be legit. We're going to have a good schedule to start out with. For once, we're not going to go murderer's row right off the rip. So we're going to have a couple games like OSU does every single year, because I live in Columbus, that plays against Youngstown State and Toledo, that plays all their backups in the second half. They can get timing down for guys that were hurt in the spring, like Quincy Porter. They're going to have a couple games to get their timing down, to get everything, and then they can go on. Now, if we struggle in September like we did, and we have those letdown games, they're exactly right. But Kent wants to come off like that, and these guys want to come off like that. I'm not doom and gloom, not when there's so many optimism things. And I've been around this program long enough to know when you go to the spring game or when you go into the offseason, we kind of know the feeling a little bit about this team's going to be good. And one of the points I wanted to make today that I didn't say last time, and I talked to, I think it was Post, actually. We were talking about this at the tailgate. In years past, there's been so many times that we've had a very good strength on this team at like a certain area, whether it be in Goolsby's teams. The defense was nasty, like nasty. Like they won with those Willingham teams just based on defense. When he went, those defenses, when Vontez Duff and all them, they were scoring the ball and they were winning the game 21-7 just on defense. We've had great offenses with Charlie's teams. We have a completely different type of team. We can win games slowing it down with running the ball. We can win the games passing the ball. We can win the games with defense. And we've done that, right? In the last couple of years. Now we've got the depth. My thing is like they got to find their identity. What are they going to be? And I think that what you said yesterday, or Monday, should I say, on Raw, about Denbrock coming out in the media, I think that tempers down Carr a little bit. And I like that point because he does need to be held back from thinking he's, the Messiah, because he's not.
Tomorrow's video on YouTube is all about that dynamic and why I appreciated somebody with gravitas balancing out the ledger. And I'm glad it was Denbrock. It should be Denbrock. I got a whole video tomorrow just about that piece. I really like it heading into the summer. And
he did it in the open. He didn't do that behind, because he's doing, he's doing that in closed doors. But what he's trying to say is that he heard the hype, and everybody hears the hype about Heisman Trophy this, Heisman Trophy that. And what he's trying to say is, I remember the games, or I remember the moments when you weren't that guy, right? Yep. And so I think it's good to openly keep a guy with that much potential reeled in a little bit. And my thing is like that potential is real. And we can say he can win the Heisman, but he can also get hurt and not play, or he can also fall off the map. I mean, there's been tons of guys.
He could level off and be really, really good, but not like elite Heisman level, lead us to the championship and still be a really, really good player. He's young, man. It's his second year as a starter. We still don't know exactly where the height of his development will level off. Is it 100%. Heisman and title level winning, or is it just really, really good, but a little too inconsistent at the top end? I don't know, but the potential's there.
And it doesn't matter. He could be Trent Dilfer for all I care, as long as we're winning. He could be Trent Dilfer or he could be Tom Brady. It doesn't matter. Like, he could be the best player on the field, or he could just be the dude that doesn't turn the ball over, is what I'm trying to get at with the Trent Dilfer thing, because he was a good quarterback. He was a game manager. So my thing is like, you know, as long as he's not impeding us from progress, that's what matters. And you know, like, for instance, the whole rumor about did he hold the ball and not give it to Love on those read options last year. If that's what he was doing, he needs to learn from that, because when you got the dog, Jeremiah Love or JP in the backfield, and you're doing read options as a first-time starter, give the ball to them. If you're going to lose with your best player with the ball, right? And not that maybe he read that wrong. So my thing is like, I want us to get behind this more than I do, like, just be Debbie Downers about it, man. Because my thing is like, there's no proof that it's either way right now. So let's be excited about it. Let's not be so pessimistic about it. And I understand the pessimistic approach, because there's been a lot of times in the past we've heard a lot of things about a lot of players or teams. Oh, this team's going to be different. This team, and they start out a certain way or whatever.
Yeah.
But this team is coached by a different person. And what you just said about being at the stadium this past weekend, that's what my point was with the whole WPP, and my opinion on it is that the university knows it's real. It's genuine. His love for the university and his effort that he's given has been genuine. It's not fake. It's not because he wants to get another job like Brian Kelly, or say he's the smartest in the room like Charlie Weiss, or go golf like Tyrone Willingham. He's not doing these things, but he's doing it because he wants to be the best he can be. And my thing is like, we need to get behind that. And we, more than anything, we need to appreciate that, because we know from the last 40 years, we're not going to have Lou every year. You know what I mean? So when we get somebody that even resembles him a little bit, let's be appreciative and be thankful for it, because you know what? We don't know how long, like you said earlier this year, we don't know how long we're going to have them. But until we don't, let's appreciate what we have here as a university. And that's all, you know.
Dude, this summer is going to be a lot of us getting in our own minds and getting everything. Like, it's just going to be a tough grind. Catfish, thank
100%.
you so much for being a part of our group, man. It was great to meet you in person, and now you're a part of the group, brother.
I appreciate you and love you guys. And John, you keep it up, man. And it's going to grow. I'm getting as many people as I can to start tuning in. I even got a couple of my buddies at work, actually Notre Dame fans that don't know about the podcast. I'm getting them to start listening. So hopefully we start building it up. You're building something special, man. So keep it up, man. You're gonna have to get your own permanent tailgate every game after this goes downhill like this. I'm just trying to say, you might have to get a house down in South Bend on me. You know,
people have brought that up of like, John, you may as well find a property there and just be able to have a home base, man.
Just saying.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Catfish, have a good day, brother. Thanks for everything and being a part of the group. You fit right in, man.
All right, buddy. Hey, I'll talk to you soon, man. Later.
Have a good one. What a nice guy. God, I love him. John, I want to address this, Blyberg. I want to explain exactly what I meant. John, people always cared. That's a BS comment. That's my point, is that I'm glad we're following a team where so many people hang over every single thing written and said and that happens in practice. I am in no way suggesting that's a new thing. I'm saying I'm glad we cover a team that people care that much about, to where one little thing in practice gets a podcast and a YouTube video and an article. That's my point. So I think you misunderstood me. That's my point, is that I'm glad people care all the time about everything. So I don't know how you took it as a BS comment. I never meant it as like no one cared about Notre Dame before and now they magically do. I'm just saying I'm glad that we cover a program that generates that kind of heat every time anything happens. So I don't want to be misunderstood on that one. And the reality is, I couldn't make a living doing this if I covered a program that didn't have the fan base and the media attention this one does over every little thing that happens. The business model I have would not pay the bills if it was just tune in for the games and that's it. Blyberg, good. I'm glad we're on the same page now. And you know what I mean. I just mean overall, it's a blessing that everybody cares this much about this place. Eric, Big E, what up?
What up, big dog?
What's going on, man?
Hey, man, I'm just enjoying the fandom of this team, man. We getting the good, we getting the bad. You know, I'm more on the good side, leaning towards the good more than the bad. Like, I really don't give a damn about the bad. Like, I don't know why everybody tripping on little stuff. I want to ask you something, John.
Sure.
I want to ask you something about college football.
Okay.
Even in the chat, if y'all could give us the last 5 quarterbacks that won the national championship, where are they?
Man, so where are you going with that? Like, are you going with like it's an overall team effort and it doesn't all have to be on that quarterback? Is that, or where's your angle on this?
Yep, you already read my mind, bro.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah, walk that out. Explain that through.
Well, we got everything covered. We got tight ends, we got the O-line, and we still missing our best offensive lineman. That's just Incredible Hulk in Charles Jagusah. We got D-line now, which helps with the freshmen, with Dunham. We got linebackers. Drake ain't even playing. KVA ain't even playing. We got secondary. Leonard Moore didn't even play this game. And Jaden Sanders looked good out there. I was focused on Jaden Sanders. He was shutting down Michael Gilbert. It was funny to me. I'm not mad at Michael Gilbert or Jaden Sanders. Hey, they just competing, y'all. We just have a team. Come on, y'all. We ain't been here in so long.
Yeah.
We're the team that everybody's talking about. They can't get clicks. They can't get views. They don't even like us for real, y'all. Everywhere y'all click on YouTube, I got people talking about Notre Dame that don't even like Notre Dame for real.
You know what, man? Really, really good point. A lot of people are realizing that like the Notre Dame hype train is real. And if you want to get some YouTube traffic or article traffic in the off season, write something dramatic about Notre Dame, even if you hate them, and you'll be able to at least get some damn views.
Yeah. You you cut them damn cameras off and let them talk. They go talk shit. Like, we really don't like these guys, but we got to talk about them.
Dude, that's really true. You know, the one that gets me, that Landon Tangwell guy, he was a Penn State player, a Penn State guy, all about pumping Penn State up, winning the championship last year. And once their season tanked, he flipped over to covering all Notre Dame stuff. I do not like it. It rubs me the wrong way, man. If you're a Penn State guy, stay in that lane and talk about them sucking. Don't hop over here.
Hey, this is what we do, man. Just stay solid over here. We're the golden goose right now. Everybody looking at us, and we're taking it negative. Hey, man, we got everything else covered. CJ Carr does not need to be a Heisman winner. I don't even need the Heisman jinx on him. I'm glad Mendoza even won the championship. You hear about the Heisman jinx?
Yeah.
You know, but we got everything else. Even when Georgia won, who with Stetson Bennett? What's Stetson Bennett doing right now?
Yeah, and man, I'm trying to maintain balance here, but it's like everybody just wants to know for sure what way it's going to go and what level I just want to find out what level this program's really at. And the question is, when will you know that? When will you know that? Like, is it going to be against the first 5 or 6 teams that don't have the talent Notre Dame has? Are you going to have to wait till November against Miami? When do you think we're going to know what level this team's really at this year? You're not going to know all summer, and we're going to debate it every day here. When the hell are we going to know?
Okay, John, I'm going to wrap it up because this is why I don't get into debates with anybody at this point. People talk about our team. I put a picture up from the blue and gold game. Some guy I don't even know, he got on my page and called us losers, joined the conference. And I'm just laughing. So I'm going to ask you, just like I told my son, he's a Michigan fan. I said, y'all are really mad at Notre Dame. I'm like, there's only a handful of teams that are really good in college football. I said, I'm not worried about no team. I want to beat Ohio State on the way to the championship game. That's it.
Ooh.
I'm not worried about you name a team that I should be worried about. You name a team I should be worried about. Yeah.
What I think is I'm just glad that when you think about the upper crest teams now and you think about the rosters and some of the talent, I remind myself that like Notre Dame's not going to lose games anymore because they just don't have the players to be able to compete with those top teams. I really think those days are over where Notre Dame doesn't have the speed or the depth to be able to play with the upper crest. I think Notre Dame's right up there roster wise, can play with anybody on any given day. It's not about that anymore. It's about putting it all together when you need it put together. That's what this has turned into. That talent speed gap that we've been fighting for 30 years, that's closed. Now the mission is something different.
But I'm saying, John, can you name a team that you're worried about? Honestly, I'm asking you.
I mean, I think there's some teams that
what team? Come on, John, you got to answer this.
Like I think Texas has a hell of a roster this year. I think Oregon's going to be a tough roster as well. Like I'm never going to I'll never count out Ohio State. Like those teams I think are at that talent level there. Like they come to mind to me, but everybody's got worries. You know what I mean? Everybody, even if you believe in your roster, you have little weaknesses or things you're worried about. But like, I think those teams are right at Notre Dame's talent level, right up there. Georgia's always talented. I'll put them up there.
Okay. But we're not scared anymore. That's the point I'm trying to make. We're not scared of none of these programs anymore. None.
Yeah.
And I'm going to wrap it in a bow. I'm going to get on out of here, man. I want to say, good job, Texas Tech. You got your karma. Yeah. Don't ever speak on Notre Dame again.
Yep. That's a good point. That's a really, really good point.
I want to play Texas Tech more than anybody and just beat their ass. So you got your karma now. You got your quarterback that's been gambling for a few years. He caught up. You paid him all that money. You had the nerve to open your mouth like you've been a blue blood for 5-10 years or something.
Yep.
Your team get good for 1 year and you get to speaking on Notre Dame.
Yep.
Shut the hell up.
Yep. I'm glad that they're in a bad spot now. Hopefully it burns them. The other thing is their schedule is an absolute embarrassment this year. They play no one. If you want to give Notre Dame a hard time for not playing a tough schedule, look at Texas Tech. They play nobody that I consider to be good all year. It's an absolute total joke, but nobody says anything because they're in a conference. So it's magically okay to play nobody as long as it's in the framework of a conference. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's so disingenuous. They play nobody, but nobody says a word.
I'm with you, bro. Every conference is trash if you ask me. So I'll leave it at that, and they can keep running with that narrative and just keep running your mouth for nothing. Quit asking about Notre Dame, like joining the conference. Is y'all trash? Wherever we go, we're gonna boost it. Whatever conference that we decide to get in, it'll be an automatic boost. Yeah. So I don't want to hear this shit no more. And good Wednesday to you all. Go Irish. Go Irish Nation, man. I'm done, man, because these
Hey,
people
Eric,
get on my
thanks
nerves.
for joining, man. I love it when you call in. Join us whenever you can, man. I like your vibe.
I got you, Brody.
And everybody thinks you sound like Dave Chappelle.
That's fine.
Yeah. See ya, Eric. Have a good one. All right. While that's top of mind, let's try and compare the voices.
Don't let the media tell you how to think and feel.
Show us your face. We want to see your face.
Who said that? You want to see my face? I can't understand you. If you have hate in your heart, let it out. How much time you got, buddy? Drugs and alcohol.
Oh, man. It did sound just like him. It really did sound like him. And the picture even kind of looked like him, if we're being honest. Terrence, what's up? I put Terrence to sleep. Terrence! The funniest part of it is like all these people are like, "Oh, John, you have a great show," and it's so like full of energy and everything. And then we go to the next caller, and he's sound asleep. That's how entertaining John is. That's not quite as good as the guy that was on the crapper when he called in and he was flushing. Do you remember that guy? That was a good one, but I feel bad. I made Terrence wait, and then he fell asleep. Tex MD asked if I fell off. I think you fell off. Everything's working for my end, Tex. That is hilarious. Unbelievable. That's how entertaining I am. People are falling asleep on hold. Let me go over some of these chats real quick, man. Let me go over some of these chats. Liam. Good morning to everybody with a lower than average IQ. That includes your humble host. There's no doubt about that. Domer Guy 88. One day closer to we all put on our best Freddie Mercury impersonations. I'm telling you guys, about once a month, I have a dream that we are at the title winning after party and me and Goolsby walk out to the crowd and we are the champions are playing. I have a reoccurring dream about once a month about that. And all of you weirdos are there. All of our people are there. It's amazing. I love it. I absolutely love it. Tex. For all the sky is falling thing about Carr, I went back and watched the game. The ones are playing thud, not even close to full speed. Glorified practice for the fans. Nothing to be worried about. I don't think I feel any better or worse about the team or about Carr after blue and gold. That's just where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Sly. Hopefully we get good news Thursday. Tight end Jackson Dollar announcing college decision. My understanding as well is that Georgia is leading that race. But again, that's just my 2 cents on the dollar. Ooh, Sly, you're going to like that wordplay. That's right up your alley. Mikey Pulls. The only thing I'm worried about the spring game, Joey O'Brien, it seems that it was worse of an injury than what we originally thought. And it's just super frustrating for a guy that really wants to have a fast start to his college career. You could look at it and be glad we got through spring without a lot of other injuries or whatever. But for a guy that young with that potential to be held back early, it's very, very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. Andrew, I agree. People tend to be hyperbolic about Notre Dame and Carr, but the hyper on Carr is he's the best quarterback since Brady Quinn. He's a first-round talent. Nobody knows. There's not a ton of data. If you're being honest with yourself in your evaluation of Carr, there's just not a lot of data. 1 year as the starter is not a lot of data. He's starting year 2. So I don't know. Liam. John, me always soy Liam do New York. You know what I have to say to that?
I can't understand you.
I can't understand you. Look at Mark. Spring game was a long time ago, John. You better start taking Wisconsin seriously. Yeah, you're damn right. You're damn right we better. Yeah, Jared, isn't this the truth? My biggest takeaway from spring ball is I'm ready for football to be back. You got a long 3 months, buddy. I always tell you guys, 4th of July is where the window starts to open. Those fireworks are going off. You're drinking a beer, and you tell yourself, I have a few more weeks of quiet, and we get to August, and we're off to the races. Just we got to get to 4th of July without losing our collective minds. Okay? That's it. Domer Sully, $5, another guy, happy to have in person that fits right into the group. And all the stuff Sully makes by hand, it's unbelievable how skilled some of our people are actually doing stuff with their hands, not just yelling in a microphone in their basement. I'm really impressed with you guys and your work. The game may have been underwhelming, but the tailgate, the Always Irish crew were not. Love you guys. We're just great to have you there. John, did you unpack all your tailgate stuff? I still got boxes of it. Some of it's in the kitchen. Some of it's in the garage. Some of it's in the basement. I still got to sort through it all. Grubbs, QB2. I don't think that's decided. I think it'll be decided in August. I would lean to Hebert. I'm just saying. I agree with Goolsby on this. I find it hard to believe they're gonna have a freshman with no experience be the backup. I just think that could end up being a determining factor. If Grubbs hasn't clearly overtaken Ebert at a cut above, which he hasn't, in that dynamic, I default to the guy that's been in the program longer. So that's just me though. You could disagree and maybe he wins the job in August, but I think that's still a battle going into August. That's what I think. I've seen this as well. I'm scared to death. Ash is going to screw this up. I've spoken about this as well. If you're that big of a believer in Notre Dame's talent, then the only way that defense could go bad on you is if Ash does something stupid. I just think they're beyond that, man. I just really think they're beyond that. $10 holler WPP. That caller's putting words into my mouth. He did not understand the point I made on Patreon. He didn't get it. The media killed Herbert during spring, but I thought he looked pretty decent in the game. It did feel like, by the way, Andrew Gilmore's another one. Great to have there in person. That he's another one that's been around here forever, and this was his first chance to make it to the tailgate. And it's just so funny because nobody really knew Andrew, but everybody knew Andrew. It's the weirdest social dynamic ever. No one technically knew Andrew, but he showed up and everybody knew Andrew. Because we just have all these years together of riding the wave of the good and the bad. We've been doing it forever. It's so cool to have this all come together, man. It's so cool. So nobody can answer my question. Who was number 6 and number 0 that played D tackle? They're getting pushed around, and it ain't going to be Ash's fault. Tim Hyde over on the Always Irish Patreon, he had some questions about inside and if they're going to be able to hold up and dominate against the best teams. Like, I'm not telling anybody everything's perfect. I'm not saying that. I'm right in the middle, man. I have high expectations for what this could be, but I also acknowledge there are clear paths where this thing could take a wrong turn. So I don't know. That's as fair as I get. That's as fair as I could possibly be. So I don't know, man. That's where I'm at with it. Freeman put the guardrails around Ash. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are of firm belief that at like halftime of the Purdue game, Freeman lost his mind on Ash and was like, whatever you're doing, I don't like it, and we're doing something else. And the defense improved from that moment on, from second half of Purdue throughout the year. So I don't know, man. I don't know. And the other thing is you're not playing the two most talented rosters you're going to play all year in the first 2 games. I think that helps as well, because if there are any little issues, it should not be one play cost you the Wisconsin game the way it did against Miami, where it's good on good in that environment. So I don't know. I don't know, man. It is I'm really excited to try and use this summer as a constructive way to examine all sides of this. What it could be on the high end, what it could be on the low end. And I don't know. I'm kind of excited about it. It's awesome. This channel has basically become a meeting place for John and 20 to 30 of his friends. The same callers, the same conversations on the daily. Unfortunately, Commander, I do a radio show at 9 in the morning during weekdays, and a lot of people that would like to join have to work. And I really don't have a solution for that problem. I would love more people to jump in, but you got to realize I do a call-in show during the week when a lot of people are working, man. So like when we get into the season, there's a more robust mix of callers. But like, I don't know what else to say other than like other people call in and I'll take your call. Like, it isn't like I have 80 people here that I'm ignoring to go to my friends. There isn't the same amount of callers in the off season. I don't know what to tell you, man. I would like a different rotation too. Give me a break here, bro. Give me a break. A lot of people are probably nervous speak in front of people. Here's the other thing, Commander. Why don't you get in that inner circle and come to one of the tailgates, and then we'll know what you look like and everything like that. Give me a break. All right, you guys, I got to get going. I got work going on at the house, man. I got pool problems going on. NICOR says there's a gas leak. There's a backhoe in the front yard. They're digging up that. We got hail damage for the tornadoes. I got the roofer guy coming to look at the roof. I got all sorts of stuff going on. So I'm going to attend to some of those issues. You guys are awesome. The discussion is awesome. I love the debate. I think it's all healthy. And I'm just really, really glad you guys are here. Tex ND, I'm sorry I missed you. You were on, then you were off. You were on, you were off. We'll get you Friday if you're available. But I love you guys. You guys are great. It's going to be a long summer. We're going to get through it together. But thank you. This was a really active show. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.